I want to start by saying congrats on the movie. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
And I'm done. I'm out.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay.
There's so much I want to talk about, but I think the one thing that would be easiest for the two of you together is filming the big battle scene in the third act. It looked like the armor was real, heavy, noisy. It looked like it might have been a really, really tough shoot. Was it tough?
I think David could speak to it better than I could, but it was. And maybe I could, while I was going through it, so maybe I could speak better to it.
Yeah,
no, but it was hot, it was muddy, and I think it was important to David that we weren't going for like a Jedi fight sequence. It was not a swords and horses movie in the sense that there was going to be some sequence rattled off that was reminiscent of a video game or Mortal Kombat or something, but rather that you felt the claustrophobia of the armor, the claustrophobia of the period, the idea, or the fact rather that more people died in Agincourt from drowning than from blunt force trauma or from stab wounds, and just from general exhaustion. So I think that was the goal of it, as opposed to, in a lot of these kinds of movies you see the Jedi type sequence that's choreographed well in advance.
Yeah, and it felt chaotic and hysterical, and it was really hard. And one of the things I really love about that battle sequence is the stuff that was frightening us on the day. Which was like Timmy's in the middle of that stuff, and we were having to worry about not killing him. Because it was dangerous.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, but you threw yourself in. It was good, and you lived. We still had stuff to shoot, so it was like I didn't really care about you.
I needed to get your movie.
Well, one of the things I want to talk about is before every big battle, the leader usually gives a speech, and I'm curious what it was like for you getting ready. You're looking at all these troops, and you really are on horseback, or not on horseback, but you have to give that speech.
No, and it starts on horseback. It does.
I was right. So talk a little bit about that, and also as like a writing. What is it like to write those words to try to inspire this big group of men to possibly give their lives?
I think one of the great gifts of this role is that if you're playing someone who's finding their voice, you don't. In fact, I think from an acting perspective, you don't want to modulate that. You don't want to chart that. I had the gift of the organic experience of trying to find that voice of that character too, and so that it finds its peak or its truest moment of searching in that speech, I think. And to that point, there's I don't want to give it away, but there's a scene with Falstaff, we can say the night before, where it's alluded to that if there isn't an organic sense to the speech, at least give the troops a magnificent lie, because they deserve it, and as the leader, that's what you owe them. And so I felt like the anti-Braveheart in that way, in that. And anyway, I'm not carrying weight like Mel Gibson or anything, so it felt like. The room to have a speech that is as much about nationalism and as much about riling up an army with a genuine intent, and as much as it was about smoke and mirrors and smoke and mirrors of nationalism.
In a practical sense, this is just a testament to like Timmy's skill and his talent. It's like that. It's a big speech and it's powerfully delivered and everything. And it's like we did it like 15, 20 times. A less experienced actor would have lost their voice after 2 goes. But it's like you were in there every time, doing it big, and so yeah, good on you.
Thank you.